Hi, my name's Eric. I'll be reading you selections from the e-edition of today's Cape Cod Times. And today's date is Monday, July 8th of 2024. The headline in today's Cape Cod Times is about the weather. As we always do, we will start with the weather across the Cape and Islands today. Some sun, humidity is back in full steam. A stray afternoon thunder shower can be expected, a high of 80, but it will feel much warmer than that with the humidity. Tonight, low clouds and humid, a low of 71. In the overnight, on Tuesday, tomorrow, some sun, then clouds and humidity. Wednesday, pretty much same thing. Humidity with a thunderstorm around in the afternoon. On Thursday, breezy, very humid with clouds and sun. On Friday, partly sunny, breezy, and very humid. All week, 82 or 83 degrees the expected high, 72 or 73 the expected low in the overnight with high humidity. So, absolutely hydrate as much as you can. Try to keep from doing strenuous exercise or errands or yard work during the key 10 to 4 o'clock time frame, and stay inside if you can. Listen to us. The sunrise will happen at 5:15 a.m. It'll set at 8:17 p.m. We'll have 15 hours and 2 minutes of daylight. Now heading to the front of the paper where the news and the lottery results are kept, and we read the lottery results because somebody asked for them. If there's something you would like read to people who are blind or print disabled, you can email us at info@audiblelocalledger.org or call us at 508-539-2030, and we'll consider reading it. And if you miss any of the information that we share in our readings, you can always go to audiblelocalledger.org. In the upper right corner is the Archived Readings tab. Click on that and you'll find a week's worth of our newspaper readings. You can catch up on anything that you might have missed. All of that is free for people who are blind or print disabled at audiblelocalledger.org, the Archived Readings tab. For the latest lottery results, we go to masslottery.com because the Cape Cod Times goes to press too early to give you the latest results, and if you asked for them, you certainly deserve them. Here for the numbers game of Sunday, July 7th, are the midday drawing numbers of 4064. Yesterday's midday drawing in the numbers game, 4064. In the evening drawing last night for Sunday, July 7th, the numbers game results were 9033. Again, last night's evening drawing numbers game results, 9033. The mass cash results for Sunday, July 7th were 8, 13, 22, 23, and 29. And Lucky for Life rounds out our lottery results for Sunday, July 7th with 7, 13, 15, 30, and 34, with 4, the bonus number. Good luck to all who play, and remember us if you win. From the front page of today's Cape Cod Times, Dennis police say no trouble at the beaches on July 4th, but problems did arise off the sand, by Denise Coffey in Dennisport. New 4th of July beach restrictions in Dennis appear to have resulted in calmer shorelines than years past, but holiday problems persisted off the sand. The night of July 4th was busy in Dennisport, according to Dennis Police Lieutenant Peter Benson. Sailing Cow restaurant owner Robin Thibodeau called police to Glendon Road Beach around midnight because she heard glass breaking. Elsewhere, police arrested 2 people, one for an alleged domestic incident, the other for an alleged driving under the influence. Another person faces a charge of assault and battery. None were beach-related actions, Benson said. A lot of people we were dealing with yesterday and have found for the last 3 years aren't local, Benson said. We ask where they're coming from, and they're from all over Massachusetts. Dennis has experienced an uptick in unsavory beach behavior the last few years, so much so that the town instituted new restrictions this year. A whole different population comes in the summer, Thibodeau said. We've always had kids, they just weren't destructive. I don't get it. Police are investigating a burned pride flag taken Tuesday from the restaurant, which is across the street from Glendon Road Beach. Only Beach Pass residents could park at Mayflower, Chapin, and Bayview beaches on the 4th of July. No one-day passes were sold at those beaches, and passenger drop-offs were limited. Benson manned a traffic control point near Route 6A on the way to the North Side or Cape Cod Bay beaches. He estimates he turned away around 250 cars full of people in 4 hours. Benson and other officers on duty were in place to make ride-hailing service drivers drop passengers off at a point 1.5 miles from the beaches. The restrictions were put in place after drinking, littering, and unruly behavior the last few years, primarily at the Northside beaches. West Dennis Beach saw additional police presence when groups of young people holding Oklahoma drills caused some concern to families and children. Benson likened the drills to football drills without the pads. The young men were loud, rowdy, and hitting each other, he said. If you've got a family-friendly beach, to put that in the middle of it is just not appropriate, Benson said. Police eventually closed West Dennis Beach when the parking lot was full. Benson said he had never seen so many beachgoers in 35 years. All beaches in Dennis were at capacity, according to Benson. The Sailing Cow restaurant was packed on Friday morning with a line of people waiting at the door. Thibodeau said she and her crew were very busy with the onslaught of July 4th visitors and tourists. But when someone took a pride flag from the restaurant and burned it across the street at Glendon Road Beach, Thibodeau said it added to the holiday stress. It was tough, she said, watching over the 86-seat restaurant on Friday. We open our doors to everyone. It's unfortunate there's so much racism and hatred. An employee noticed the flag missing after 10 p.m. Tuesday. Whoever stole it set it aflame in the parking lot across the street. Thibodeau showed where fire had burned holes in the flag and melted a sock to the fabric. Dennis police are investigating the incident. If someone thought this was funny, it wasn't funny, she said. It wasn't funny at all. Murphy's General Store in Harwichport donated a pride flag to the Sailing Cow after they heard of the burning. It was waving in the ocean breeze on Friday across from Glendon Road Beach, keeping company with all the other flags hanging from those posts. Our next headline on the cover of today's Cape Cod Times, dated today, July 8th, a Monday, Meeting of the Capes. Scores of Cape Verdeans greet Prime Minister on Cabo Independence Eve, by Rachel Devaney in Falmouth. As Cape Verdean Prime Minister Ulysses Correa y Silva toured the Cape Verdean Museum and Cultural Center, curator Barbara Burgo spoke about activist and Cape Verdean-born Eugenia Fortes, who Burgo said was kicked off a Hyannis Beach in the 1940s because she was black. She, meaning Eugenia, was very upset, so she started the Cape Cod NAACP and became a real good friend of the Kennedys, Burgo told Correa y Silva and his delegation. A smile spread across his face when Burgo told him that Fortes, who died in 2006, would go on to host fellow Cape Verdean judge George Layton and Thurgood Marshall at her Hyannis home. There they began to plan for the historic Brown v. Board of Education 1954 court case, which led to the U.S. Supreme Court ruling that segregated schools are unconstitutional. Now the beach that she was not allowed to walk on is named the Eugenia Fortes Beach in Hyannis, said Burgo, who's a co-founder of the center. Correa y Silva arrived in the U.S. roughly a week ago, said Burgo, and made his way from California to Massachusetts to honor the center with a Medal of Cultural Merit First Degree on Wednesday. Correa y Silva then arrived on Cape Thursday to visit the museum and to spend time with local Cape Verdeans during a brunch at the Falmouth Cape Verdean Club. During his tour, Correa y Silva told the Times that the center's programs are essential to preserving Cape Verdean American heritage. Here we have a part of Cabo Verde, said Correa y Silva. Cape Verdeans, he said, began to immigrate to the U.S. in the 18th century. And that's a long time ago, he said. The presence of the museum is important for the new generation, for Cape Verdean Americans, and for Americans too, Correa y Silva said. The history of Cabo Verde and the United States is common. We share a lot of love. After the tour, Correa e Silva presented Burgo with a series of gifts, including a book called Brava. Burgo beamed and held the book close to her heart. As Correa e Silva hugged Burgo, her eyes filled with tears, and she whispered, "I'm proud." President of the Museum and Cultural Center, Wesley Late, told The Times that Correa e Silva enjoyed the different educational displays, especially the Nana's Kitchen exhibit. The century-old culturally sensitive culinary items that appear in Nana's Kitchen connect visitors to Cape Verdean food, culture, and family. He was impressed, said Late. We are teaching people about the way food was prepared way back when. It reminds people of their grandmothers, and it makes some people cry. For the Prime Minister to come here and experience that with us, it's just amazing. As Correa Silva left the building, he greeted a crowd of waiting onlookers. He came all the way here to this small place and to this museum. It's just incredible, said Robert Brown, a member of the Cape Verdean Club. On Thursday afternoon, the Prime Minister spoke at the club. Surrounding him were Cape Verdean flags and a display that chronicled the many ships that brought Cape Verdeans to New Bedford from the 1860s to the 1920s. During his speech, he reminded attendees about Cape Verdean Independence Day, which is recognized on July 5th, and he thanked the crowd for their hard work and dedication to Cape Verdean culture. State Rep. David Vieira spoke about the Cape Verdean distinction of cultural order that the Prime Minister gave to the museum. In 3 short years, what was vacant farmhouse in Falmouth has become a rallying corner that tells the story of your families in the Cape Verdean diaspora, said Vieira, not only in Falmouth but in Massachusetts and the U.S. Club President Corey Green said she's been planning for weeks for the visit. We're proud of how the event and the community came together, said Green. It was super exciting. Burgo also spoke during the brunch and said she's proud of the connections and relationships that have been forged with Cape Verdean leadership over the last 25 years. We've started intercultural, intercontinental relationships and initiatives, said Burgo. Anything that our country needs from us, our cultural lands, just call on us. We're here to help you no matter what. A regional story. West Nile virus, WNV, found in Massachusetts by Rin Velasco. Mosquitoes are usually annoying. Mosquitoes with West Nile virus in their blood are dangerous and annoying. The State Health Department announced Tuesday that it had found West Nile virus in mosquitoes in Massachusetts. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health said that the samples that confirmed West Nile in the mosquito blood were collected on June 25th in Quincy. Public Health Commissioner Dr. Robbie Goldstein said that the summer's around the time West Nile is found in mosquitoes. It's an important reminder that people should take steps to prevent mosquito bites, Goldstein said. WNV can cause serious illness, and there are simple things that you can do to protect yourself and your loved ones. The State Health Department said while everyone can catch West Nile, people over the age of 50 are at a higher risk for severe disease. They also said the symptoms tend to include fever and flu-like illness. In rare cases, more serious illnesses can occur. State epidemiologist Dr. Catherine M. Brown said the state is at the beginning of mosquito season, should expect to see not only more mosquitoes, but also more mosquitoes with West Nile in them. How to keep mosquitoes away from you? Well, use a mosquito repellent with an EPA-registered ingredient. Wear clothing to reduce exposed skin. Drain any standing water on your property and repair window screens, Brown said. We also encourage everyone to make it a habit to check the mosquito-borne disease web pages on mass.gov so you know when and where WNV activity is occurring. According to the State Health Department, anti-mosquito precautions you should take to avoid contracting West Nile include avoiding mosquito bites, mosquito-proofing your home, and protecting your animals. Spraying your clothes with repellent is nothing new, but buying pre-treated clothes such as shirts, pants, and socks has proven to be the most effective, said Sam Telford, professor of infectious diseases and global health at Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine at Tufts University, in an interview earlier in 2024. The not-so-secret ingredient? Permethrin, a broad-spectrum, non-systemic synthetic pyrethroid pyrethroid insecticide that can be used to pre-treat clothing and is effective against ticks and mosquitoes. It's been around since 1979 and used by the military, but starting in 2003 began to see commercial use in factory-treated clothing. Now it can even be bought on Amazon. Permethrin-treated clothing can last through more than 16 wash cycles, but should be washed separately from non-treated clothing. Keeping it local from the Cape and Islands section, under the photo shoot caption, Cape Summer Survival Tips from the Butterfly Life Cycle by Steve Heslip, who's the photographer for the Cape Cod Times. When Independence Day lands in the middle of the week, Cape Cod gets 2 holiday weekends, one before and then one after the actual holiday. Locals brace for traffic and crowded beaches and long checkout lines in stores. The place we love gets loved to capacity, which is why I always plan a visit to the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History's Butterfly House in Brewster when summer gets busy. A quiet refuge filled with butterflies and caterpillars. Starting as a single egg on a milkweed plant, the monarch caterpillar will hatch in 3 to 5 days and then start eating and chewing its way into a colorful, plump creature with a huge appetite. After 18 days of eating, it goes into the pupa stage inside a chrysalis. The magic happens when the wormy-looking muncher unfurls into a butterfly about a week later. This metamorphosis is simply supernatural. I doubt a bank of even the most powerful computers equipped with artificial intelligence could dream up the process. Butterflies get all the attention. These rainbow-colored, solar-powered insects flutter around all summer chased by shutterbugs. But given the opportunity, I much more enjoy a portrait session with a hungry caterpillar. The monarch caterpillar is certainly colorful, but for maximum wow factor, find a spice bush swallowtail color caterpillar. Get in real close to remove anything for size comparison. What will be staring back at the lens looks like a big-eyed snake with lips. The butterfly life cycle might also offer some seasonal survival tips against all the frenzy. Eat as much as you like for a few days and then settle down for some quiet time away from it all. Lastly, take flight and enjoy your scenery. The other article in the Cape and Islands section of the Cape Cod Times from Monday, July 8th, reads, New Hyannis Airport Cafe offers Jamaican flavors by Denise Coffee in Hyannis. Fancy some Jamaican-inspired food under the clear blue skies of a Cape Cod summer day? You can find it at the Island Cafe and Grill Express at the Cape Cod Gateway Airport. Erica and Patrick Sterling have been busy getting the restaurant ready for the opening. As of Tuesday, the Jamaican husband and wife team are now offering some of their signature dishes in a 1,339-square-foot space inside the airport terminal. This is the second location the Sterlings have opened in 7 years. Island Cafe and Grill on Route 28 in Hyannis has been providing a blend of American and Jamaican dishes to a crowd that keeps returning for more. Now they'll be able to share the flavors of their popular dishes with travelers in and out of the Hyannis airport, as well as anyone who wants to stop by. We're excited that they're here, said airport manager Katie Service. Their food is fantastic. Gateway Airport had 31,327 passengers arriving and departing in the last 12 months, according to Service. The airport has 65 tenants with 1,700 employees. It's one of a handful of public-use airports on the Cape and Islands. Passengers who are departing on flights can take their food through the Transportation Security Administration check-in. Those arriving on flights can pick up food when they land. The public can also take advantage, Service said. Plans are to open the small side parking lot next to the terminal for customers who want to eat in or take food to go. Customers who visit the Island Cafe and Grill Express can park in the main lot for free for up to 2 hours with a validated ticket. What customers will find inside is an array of dishes from muffins and breakfast sandwiches to salads, lobster rolls, jerk chicken wraps, and club sandwiches. Service was sitting at one of the 6 tables inside the Express. A door led to a 390-square-foot outside patio where 4 other tables stood in the sun. With seating for 36 inside and out and more seats in the terminal, Service said this wasn't just about providing food to flying customers. Anyone can come in and take advantage of a menu that boasts breakfast and lunch offerings. Patrick Sterling has decades of hospitality management experience with the Wequassett Inn. Erica worked at the now-closed Riverway Lobster House in Yarmouth for 10 years. Both know how important good food and excellent customer service is for success. They're cultural ambassadors, sharing their love of food, flavor, and country to make people happy. Their express menu will be a pared-down version of what they offer at their 52-seat cafe on Route 28. The Express will sell breakfast sandwiches, wraps, fresh fruit, chowder, and club sandwiches. Items with a decidedly Jamaican twist will include jerk chicken wraps and Rasta pasta. Jerk hot dogs offered will be all beef hot dogs with pineapple salsa and barbecue sauce on buttered brioche rolls. It's a blend of our culture's Jamaican, tied in with American cuisine, Patrick Sterling said. Given the seasonal nature of airport operations, the Island Cafe Express may be open seasonally from May to October, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to start. The months of June, July, and August bring the most passengers, but Cape Air offers flights year-round. While passenger numbers drop sharply in the off-season, there'll be some call for food service year-round. We have to be creative, Service said, adding that catering and hosting events could provide additional opportunity to the Island Grill Express. Service has had Island Cafe and Grill cater some events in the past, including festivities on the flight line. The job entailed making lobster rolls for 60 people, according to Erica Sterling. And a year before, Island Cafe and Grill catered an event with 100 people. We've worked with Island Cafe for several events, and the relationship has been fantastic, Service said. We want them to be successful, and we want to provide food service for our airport users. We will continue to keep it local in this half-hour edition of the Cape Cod Times, dated Monday, July 8th of 2024, with a different kind of local news, the obituaries. There is one obituary in today's Cape Cod Times. It's of Beverly Primo, who at the age of 81 died peacefully in her home surrounded by family on June 25th. She was born in Uxbridge, Mass. And graduated from Uxbridge High School, had a long career as a nurse at Cape Cod Hospital. As a young mother and a voracious reader, Beverly returned to college to earn her B.A. in English Literature at UMass. While she loved her travels to Europe and the Caribbean with her lifelong companion, soulmate, and her best friend, Julianne Primo, above all, she enjoyed her summers strolling the beaches of Cape Cod with her family and close friends. Beverly had a passion for gardening, creating a magical environment around her home that was enjoyed by her many grandchildren and their friends. Her summer family badminton tournaments were legendary, with a highly sought-after Most Improved Player trophy awarded each year. She is survived by her partner of over 50 years, Julianne Primo, and many friends and family. While Beverly is no longer with us, we take solace knowing she has been reunited with her son Scott and her mother Aurora Paddock. A private celebration of life will be held to honor Beverly on July 13th. For more information, please contact the Bartlett Funeral Home at 508-746-3456 or Doug at bartlett1620.com. In lieu of flowers, a donation in her honor may be made to the Michael J. Fox Foundation at michaeljfox.org. Moving to national news, calls mount for Biden to step aside. Some House Democrats pan the post-debate TV interview by Rachel Barber. U.S. Representative Angie Craig, a Democrat from Minnesota, on Saturday became the fifth House Democrat to call for President Joe Biden to exit the 2024 race, joining Texas Rep. Lloyd Doggett, Massachusetts Rep. Seth Moulton, Illinois Rep. Mike Quigley, and Arizona Rep. Raul Grijalva. Biden has faced growing pressure to end his re-election campaign since his first debate against former President Donald Trump on June 27th. His raspy voice, verbal stumbles, and sinking poll numbers prompted panic within his party that the president has tried to calm over the past week. But after his defiant post-debate interview with ABC's George Stephanopoulos, which aired on Friday, even more Democrats are questioning his viability as a candidate. Given what I saw and heard from the president during last week's debate in Atlanta, Coupled with the lack of forceful response from the president himself following the debate, I do not believe that the president can effectively campaign and win against Donald Trump, Craig said. This future of our country is bigger than any one of us. It's up to the president from here. Last week, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey became the first Democratic governor to ask Biden to reevaluate his 2024 campaign, and Senator Mark Warner, a Democrat from Virginia, reportedly began organizing a group of Democratic senators to ask Biden to drop out. The Democratic representatives who have already publicly asked the president to bow out of the race hail from diverse wings of the party in different parts of the country. Yet one of Biden's most ardent supporters, Representative Jim Clyburn, a Democrat from South Carolina, said the threat former President Trump poses is why the party should rally behind the president right now. He clearly laid out the truth tonight. Under Trump, all of our progress will be stymied and our democracy would be at risk, Clyburn said in a social media post on Friday evening. Joe Biden is who our country needs, and his presidency's laid a foundation upon which we can continue our pursuit of a more perfect union. Doggett, who's 77, became the first Democratic lawmaker to break with the president and party line when he called for Biden to make way for a new generation of leaders last week. The Progressive Democrat's the most senior member of the Texas congressional delegation and has represented parts of Austin for nearly 3 decades since assuming office in 1995. President Biden saved our democracy by delivering us from Trump in 2020, Doggett said in a statement. He must not deliver us to Trump in 2024. The day after Doggett's call for Biden to step aside, Grijalva told the New York Times that Democrats need to put up a fight against Trump and Biden should exit the 2024 race. Grijalva, who's 76 years old, is a progressive Arizona Democrat who represented the state's 3rd district for 20 years. In 2022, he won election to serve its 7th district, which includes parts of Tucson, Yuma, Nogales, and Phoenix. What he needs to do is shoulder the responsibility for keeping that seat, and part of that responsibility is to get out of this race, Grijalva said in an interview with the Times. Moulton, who's 45, questioned Biden's ability to beat Trump in a statement released last week, then went a step further when he called on Biden to end his bid for the White House. Moulton is a former Marine Corps officer and a moderate member of the Democratic Party. He's represented parts of Massachusetts' North Shore since 2015. President Biden has done enormous service to our country, but now's the time for him to follow in one of our founding father, George Washington's footsteps, and step aside to let new leaders rise up and run against Donald Trump, Moulton said in an interview with WBUR. After Biden's interview Friday on ABC News, Quigley spoke on air with MSNBC's Chris Hayes and called for Biden to bow out of the race. Quigley, who's 65, has represented the north side of Chicago and the city's western suburbs since winning a special election in 2009. He's known for his ardent support of Ukraine and has been described as a moderate with a progressive bent. Mr. President, your legacy is set, Quigley said. We owe you the greatest debt of gratitude. The only thing that you can do now is cement that for all time and prevent utter catastrophe is to step down and let someone else do this. Craig's statement Saturday followed Biden's ABC interview that aired the previous night. She said while she respected Biden's decades of public service, the stakes are too high in the election against Trump for him to remain in the race. U.S. Senator Chris Coons, a Democrat representing Biden's home state of Delaware, is sticking with the president. He shared a clip from the interview Friday and praised Biden, saying he's made remarkable progress and would deliver more in his next term. I can't wait to help him continue to take the fight to Trump and win in November, Coons said. In his Friday interview, Biden again blamed his disjointed debate performance on a really bad cold and exhaustion. I was sick, he said. I was feeling terrible. He remained adamant that he could beat Trump in November, even though some pre-debate polls showed him losing in a squeaker of a race. I'm running again because I think I understand best what has to be done to take this nation to a completely new level, Biden told Stephanopoulos. We're on our way. Editorial note, Michael Collins contributed to that article. And with that, we've come to the end of our reading of the Cape Cod Times for Monday, July 8th of 2024. This is your reader, Eric, saying be well, be safe, look after each other. Remember our veterans, especially those who have recently passed. Bye for now.